What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Childish. We are back at it again with yet another episode of Educate and Dominate, that one-on-one interview series where we take some of the top names and the top guilds in the game, get their insights so we can bring your game to the next level. My next guest is one of the vice leaders of the #1 guild on the Europe server, Noviac. Welcome aboard, Vayne. How are we doing today, bud?
Well, I'm doing great. Thanks, Cyrus.
Oh, not a problem, sir. Not a problem. Super excited to have you on board. We got a lot to talk about, guys, today. I'm looking forward to getting this out to you. Just a friendly reminder, if you can't tell from his amazing voice, he is, again, from across the pond like Zerabit. He is from the Brazilian side. I know that we've had a couple people comment on the recent video, saying that it was kind of hard to interpret the language. So if you are listening to this video and want to follow through, we're going to provide some annotations for you guys during the video on some of the topics he discussed, so that if you do have a hard time listening to him, you can go ahead and check those out and kind of follow through. So again, and thank you for providing that, Vayne. I do appreciate that, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Alrighty, so let's get right into it, my man. A lot of people know about Noviac. I know they've been doing good, but before we get into that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about yourself. What kind of got you introduced into video gaming in general, and what led you eventually into Summoner's War?
Okay, let's talk in. My first game played was, like some many people's, was Mario on Super Nintendo, but in general, I love so much RPG and games where you can use your creativity to build stuff, test things, expand your limits, and in consequence of being so close to English language, it was from where I learned it. So after Nintendo, I spent a good time playing PlayStation games, mainly being Digimon, which I played ever won like 1, 2, 3 digital card battles, Rambarina. So I'm a Digimon lover and big fan of the series.
Cool.
Well, back in that time when PC games were rising, the most one I loved and have my best memories was Lineage 2, a RPG.
Great game.
I can. Well, you know that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
back in
still
that
with
time,
EverQuest. Yeah, I was with EverQuest for a little bit, but I did follow Lineage. It was pretty cool.
yeah, yes, it's very like World of Warcraft 2. So I can consider that the game I most played so far, whether on private servers, there were a lot of them, or official server when it became free to play, where I made a lot of friends, learned how to live in a community like guild and these things. Well, after a lot of games, I played League of Legends, which I play too today. When I started really using most my tier crafting skill, together with other ones that a MOBA require. Well, that bring me today. I'm Diamond 4 on my server Brazilian, and I'm still active, usually playing while I let my team auto-win on Dragons. And then after a lot of other games, obviously, what brought me to play Summoner Wars was trying random games on Google Store. Yeah, when I got bored and got a new cell phone, I decided I want to see what could have on the Google Store. So I remember to test it like other 7, 8 games, but really, Summoner Wars was the only one that really caught my attention because of the fantasy involved, the graphics, strategy, and the energy factor. Because I found everything much fun to play and decided I would want to learn everything about the game. I was in love with it. Oh, and by the way, just to say, my name came from Final Fantasy and not League of Legends, which many have asked already. Oh, just a curiosity.
Gotcha. All right. So, moving on to the Guild Noviac, that's running #1. You guys have been, holding that title for quite some time. I'm looking forward to kind of getting into some of the things that, basically define your guild. But before I wanted to get into that, I was hoping that you can take a quick time for the beginners and the intermediate players that are listening along the way. We always try to incorporate some kind of tips and tricks that you've learned along the way to progress your game. Do you kind of have a couple of things that you wanted to put out there for them?
Yeah, there are some things that, well, actually, I'm playing for almost 2 years now, so I'm probably one of the oldest players. Well, but for the newcomers that are coming, I have some special tips. I don't see many persons talking about it. Some of them actually, some people might dislike because some people like to gamble on this game. But I consider it a risky thing. Well, it cannot always bring you results or let you frustrated in the end. So I'll begin talking. So I never spent money on this game. Just recently on the beginner and intermediate pack with Google Cards because I found that accessible to me. But in total, we saying in dollars, it was not more than 100. And
Gotcha.
because of this, I always had a calculating mind since the beginning. So I always looked for the best options and in long term, like buying the crystal giants with I made calcs, and I think it's in 3 months. It's auto cost benefit. The right buildings, like you have to start from the energy forcer, start from the one that gives you speed, then you go from the speed building, then the critical damage buildings is so good, and then you split on the others because that's how you have to level buildings. Like you always need to factor like what's good for me now. Like example, 2% health or 8% attack if the difference are that high on price. Yeah, and not forgetting always to buy Devimons. There are some buildings I can consider a total waste, like the arena defense buildings. Not the laser one, but the velocity and the power of the laser. And others like mana, yeah, it's very insignificant amount, so don't waste your glory on them. And it's good to always use the energy. You know, example, I'm always a low rank on arena because I like to farm fast with my double illusion aren't exactly strong. It can do well like on G2, G1 rank. So I like to fast farming because I not always have time to play Summoner Wars like when I wake up and need to go to university. So I like being at around 1500 run, where it's like still Conqueror. Well, going on, and like I was saying before, not gambling on summons because after knowing the rate of natural 5, which is I think lower than 1%, which is pretty low I consider, I decided that the only way to get on pair with top players was being just spending crystals on refills.
Okay.
This is yeah on but actually on beginning you need to make you need to be careful to not spend in refills like when you're about to level up because that's when you get like a free refill.
Right.
And on beginning, I can consider like making an exception because the amount of energy you got from refilling, which will be like let's say 40 energy, maybe best spend sometimes on summoning yet because you will not make like in the example an amount of mana so good and the progress will not be too that good. So in the very beginning of the game, we can make an exception. So yeah, that's about it. I actually never bought a legendary pack,
That's
and that's pretty much.
that's pretty impressive. I ain't gonna lie. Like for me, free to play, I was similar like you for quite a bit of time, and then I got a couple gift cards between my birthday and Christmas or whatnot to do it. Now that I got the YouTube channel, I've been taking a little bit of money every month and kind of put it towards the game, just to kind of help it out and help me progress to give the people content. But yeah, I much respect for you for not putting in any money to this game because it's pretty hard. But I like the fact that you kind of stuck it out and just stay true to your word and continuously just try to progress and farm. So one of the cool things that I like to do when looking at, especially with the free-to-play players that come on to the Educate and Dominate, is taking a note of some of the things that they have to do that when you're a pay-to-play player, you don't get you don't get the luxury of to do it like the pay-to-play players. So one thing to mention, guys, that if you will notice here, he got a nice handful of units. As you can see, only Theo and farmable units here for the Nat 5s, but no actual Nat 5 summon. Veramosi guys and whatnot, but still doing really, really well. As I stated in other videos prior to, it's not about what you got, but what you make of what you got. So as he stated for his arena, in order for him to progress and get the guild point or get the arena points and whatnot, he's utilizing Lucians, and we got a common misconception about the perfect rune set that needs to go about when you're going to Lucian. So if you take a look at both of his Lucians, while the stats on it look very, very similar to like that kind of Rage Blade, setup or whatnot. One of them, one of them speed based, one not. But you'll see that he's taking the time, doing the time necessary to farm the runes so that he can basically fill the spots and utilize his top runes for his top units in the spots that they need. Again, as you can see here, Sigmaris looking like a very speedy Rage Blade kind of a setup as well. But yet again, no rhyme or rhythm to his rune selection here. Very, very cool to see. Again, a lot of people take these filler runes and whatnot that don't look good, early on, but once you level them up, see where the rolls go on the substats, definitely can make a unit that much stronger. So really, really cool to see that, and hopefully that kind of inspire other peoples to save some of those filler runes that they think that are not too good and utilize them. So props to you, sir.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you can see a lot of units like there is a common question we can see on channels, like people asking about the stats, the sets that some monsters need, like these kind of questions. This gives you a base of what the monster needs, but you need to understand the monster. You need to understand what he needs most and less, so you can build him even with broken sets, with people subestimate a lot. And you can make pretty much inefficient monsters like the ones you're showing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Cool. All right, so let's see if we can get on to this section that I know that everyone's going to get excited to talk about. That has to be Guild Wars, okay? And so, there's a lot of people that have come on board to the series and have been talking about the guild, but now we have the opportunity to get some of the tips that have helped you guys progress to the top. One thing that I kind of wanted to mention, I guess that's kind of unique, and I don't know if you already had, taken a notes on this. With regards to your guild, from what I understand, when people come, on board to the guild, they basically have to check in with you, as you are the one that create the Guild War defenses, similar to like Pug West of Aftermath. You kind of they come on board and they come to you, and then you make arrangements to set up the defenses, as you would feel that they're optimal. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, me with a little help of Rengar. Yeah, that's how I got the VC-led status. I like to see every defense, like what I could make it better and to improve, because my guild, there's a lot of people with strong monsters. So when you have a lot of variety, you really don't know what to use. So I had to help. Like, to be very honest, you don't need guild units to be succeeded in Guild War. Like in Arena, I consider that runes are very important, yes, but you need to worry about so many things, like don't build in a Lucianable defense, a bombable defense, and so many little factors that you need some specific monsters to be succeeded in Arena. Like sometimes a Kumar can lead you to G3 very easily, but in Guild War, there are so many monsters that are easy to get and efficient, like Darion, Jubel, Veramos, some 4 stars like Chloe, Chazon. You can pretty much build a very efficient team with them, as long as you have the runes for them.
Yep. Definitely, yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and get into that here too. We got a couple of pictures of some of his top players, defenses and how successful they are. So looking forward to getting that. But before we get into that, was there any other tips that you want to kind of put out there as far as people that are in the lower ranks, the G1, G2, or even Conquer 3? Maybe some tips that can kind of help them along the way to progress their guild.
On their guild, okay. Let's talk about it. So when it comes to Guild War, First of all, we need to understand that there isn't, yeah, like I said, an offensive dominant meta like a double Lucen, which dictates the arena. There's still Telmars, which is pretty strong on defense because he's unpredictable when it comes to choosing a target, and that's pretty much what makes a defense wins.
Right.
Like a violence procs, revenge procs, these things. But offensive wise, people use so many variants that it's hard to imagine what they will face against. So when you build a defense, don't be paranoid. Yeah, the first thing, don't be paranoid. Trying to guess what enemy will use, like build an invisible Guild War defense, because this is a motto. This is a thing you need always to remember. For every composition you make, there always be a kind of counter. So when you build your composition, try to make it the hard countering possible, and not countered by banned units, because I consider like some units are pretty much game breaking, like Velajuel, because he got a pretty much strong immunity that cleanses, gives attack bar, and it's last 3 turns, and max skill it's just 4 turn cooldown. So it's very hard to go against that. It's hard, very hard going against, like say, a wind that can dispel you. So you need to worry about your inner chin synergy. So let's going on. My second tip now. It's been most people really don't know how their defense will work. Yeah, they just put a bunch of natural 5 and some units that don't make sense with each other and pray for them to be succeeded. But yeah, that don't work like this way. When we talk about defense, there are essentially 4 things. Yeah, repeating, 4 things I consider crucial, some in more or less scale, for a guild war to have wins. These things, most of them are first, the most important, like source of damage. Your teams need to have damage, preferably 2 source of damage, because when your team have like your guild war just like 1 damage, 2 supports, it's very easy to deal with it, and enemy will just does like 1 tank and try to knock down that source of damage, and after then, like example, if you're left with a Bella and a Chloe, they will of course not kill your units.
Right.
So I consider like source of damage are very important factors, like 2 minimum. Second thing, monsters with defense break. It's very important to use monsters with defense break because they are like what makes your team does like double damage. Some monsters, yeah, are good and easy to acquire. Like we can say about Bella. Bella is pretty much a easy unit. Darion, Jubel, 4 stars units. I consider the best defense break monster of the game, like being Orion, because he randomly applies defense break. He takes out the buffs. I mean, and he even increases your team attack bar. So it's a great combination if you need a defense break, because Orion, he pretty much defense break and give your team attack bar at the same time, making it capable of knocking someone. Yeah, going for the third thing I said, immunity. Immunity is something very important because uh, when we talk about defense, if your team has an immunity, first of all, it can be easy to deal sometimes if the enemy have a bomb team like Jojo, like Kaboj. They use a kind of strategy. A few players, like if you're on top ranks, not on low ranks, because I don't think they will have runs for it. But if you don't have immunity, like you open source of so many ways for enemy to deal with you, that may lead your defense of being easy to deal with. And fourth, I don't consider it the most important of them, which is real. Uh, when we talk about real, it's more like to prolongating the battle, or to making sure you can lead it to a point where you can win enemy. Like stagnant teams aren't good on Guild War because they will always end up losing, which is not the same like on Arena. On Arena, people use stagnant teams like using Eladriel, Iona, some of these units with reels and resurrections. They are good there, but on Guild Wars they just delay something which is pretty much unavoidable, which will be the defeat if your team hasn't like the three things I said before. So of course there can be teams without immunity or without defense break, but those are very tricky and hard to make and requires a particular strategy. So when you build your defense, always have in mind those factors. So in the end, you won't have a mediocre defense without win potential. I can transition out for. I was talking about specific on members, like a particular one by one. Now I will talk about how important is the leader of the guild, the role he displays.
Alrighty.
Yeah, if a guild wants really to be succeeded, like you're not a farming guild, you're aiming for to be like in the top 30 or 40 or 50. For getting a good rank, he needs to overlook every one of his members' defense, his monsters, his runes, and suggest better strategies or sweet members of defense, because yeah, you can choose like from 25 or less. So I know it's not an easy task, but for this reason, you can have two vice lads, because Revark, my guild leader, I think he don't have that much time to take care of everything. So he asked me to take care of it because I love it. I have fun doing it. So yeah, I always end asking help a bit too, like for Rengar. So we share opinions. Like that's pretty much how an leadership of the guild need to work. You need to split tasks, so it don't become too burdening for one person.
That's
And
good.
last, in not offensive wise, if you want to make your guild wins, don't rush things or be selfish, like hitting just the most valuable or farmable member enemy. Because this part, the leader needs to make rules and makes people follow them, like hidden in a ladder style, like +3, +2, +1, or saving the strongest members for the cleanup if the guild is going to lose. Yep, in particular, don't risk things. You need to know your own limits and try the safest strategy possible always. Like being prepared for enemy violent procs, because he will probably do. So you won't blame them later. And by the safest way possible, I mean like you need to adapt to enemy. Don't always use the same strategy. Do some modifications. Use tanks when needed, because it can be takes a little while more, but it compensates for a guild overall, especially if you're going a tough on. And about the one last thing, the schedules. Yeah, the guild leadership need to know who will be away or who will be around. Yeah, especially on weekends, because that's very important, because that's the difference between good and bad guilds. It's the organization. I've been before in guilds losing by less than 5% when we were like 15 swords not being used. So I can surely say that the leadership makes an essential role when it comes how to win guild wars.
Okay. And with regards to your organization or whatnot, when it comes to that last Saturday with the reset, do you guys do anything along the week to manipulate your source so that you have some available for that last hour, or do you just raid twice a day every
Oh
day?
yeah. Actually, when it comes to our schedules, we like considering the amount of offensive members and defensive members. We always like everyone can fight, like the total of fights someone can get is 12. So to manipulating the numbers to someone don't get too much benefits, and everyone in the end can kind of have the same contribution. Uh, we make so everyone seats two fights in the week. Like some people, oh, I can't fight on weekend, so let me sit during week. Yeah, you understand? Like
Yep.
that's pretty much how we organize. We make schedules during before the war starts in the beginning of the week, so everybody can kind of have the same opportunities to get contribution, to get glory points, and we pretty much do it like this.
Okay, cool. I didn't catch to see if you still had more to say. So, very cool, very cool. Why don't we go ahead and get into the some of your top defenses here? I'm looking
Okay.
forward to kind of get into those. So we're going to start out with a name that doesn't need any introduction when it comes to the people that we see in the top, top 100 all day, every day. We got the first one here, Dream Booty. Love the name.
Okay. Let's talk about his defense. Yeah, I suited him because there's one thing I consider interesting when you use Theomars. Like, when you use Theomars, people will focus him no matter what because he will probably be the best income of damage of your team, and he does defense break too. So you can use other defense-based units with him because they will not end for the defense units. Like Velejuel and Ladriel are both defense-based units. They do damage based on it. And there is an immunity on this team. There is reels. And another interesting is that both Eladriel and Velejuel they can dispel enemy buffs. So it makes an opener for Tilmars to do his defense break thing and kill the enemy. And Eladriel here, it serves a role like making the battle last longer. So the enemy immunity will be out. So you can't really rush a fight with him, and that's pretty much how he wins. Yeah,
Yeah,
considering he has good runes too.
right.
Talking about yeah,
Oh no
any
no,
questions?
I was gonna ask a question here. I'm assuming that he's running a defense, like defense crit damage defense on that Velajuel. Is that right?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay,
You need to run like that because, like you can see, you can do some damage on Velez well.
gotcha. And the one thing that I kind of wanted to point out when I take a look at it, just like, you were talking, and I apologize if I missed it there.
No,
Without
no
it,
problem.
but like he made a comment about how certain units in the defense they just flat out you know that when you look at them they are the strongest ones, the ones with the most kill potential. So generally people put units that are so strong that you can't deny the fact that you need to go for them first. But don't forget to look at the rest of the team because the top names and the top guilds are definitely using the concept of misdirection. While Theomars is going to be absolutely strong, we can't deny the fact that Velajuel can put out an absurd amount of damage when it comes to setting them up in that kind of YOLO setup or whatnot. So making sure that you're paying attention not just to the units that kind of stick out at you, but the units that that it kind of brings all together here. So that's a very very nice concept here. I would never imagine any Velajuel not in a defensive setup because to me when I look at that I think Theo when in all reality I need to be concerned about both of those units because they can definitely tear it up. So cool.
Velejuel he actually has some pretty much good damage, and considering you have Theomars on lead, he gets even more critical rates. Now imagine Velejuel doing his second skill like Christian on a monster with defense break. That will be like tons of damage, we can say.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen Velajuel's hit for that 15 to 20, 25, I think maybe 22K. I haven't seen too many high ones, but I definitely in the 15 to 20K I've seen it many, many times.
Okay, any questions? I can go to the second defense.
No, yeah, hit up that second one.
Okay, the second defense. Well, the first thing we see here, like, is being aerial leads with Chandra, and Chandra is another I consider hard unit to use because his artificial intelligence may lead up to some mess a lot of times. But we can see that his two other members are Ariel and Jultan. We can see here enemy will focus either Area or Jultan. I think they will mostly going for Jultan because he's the source of defense break and he's a very dangerous unit. So if enemy starts to kill in Jultan and Chandra uses the hug skill on him, mostly if enemy don't have a way to get rid of that hug, it's very hard to kill it because Ariel will heal it in consequence. And Jotun, like I said, is very dangerous. And both Ariel and Chandra can do some good damage to whoever Jotun defense break because he's a constant defense breaking unit.
Right.
And that makes the composition pretty much scary.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I like it a lot. I've seen, over the course of the last, 3 months, I've seen people more and more utilize Julton. I know that
Yeah,
Ashir is like the cream of the crop, but Julton is definitely someone that gets overlooked sometimes. So I love to see it, especially in the top ranks.
I want to say specifically about someone like Zoltan, or you can trade in for a Jubel, for example. They have a similar roles, but Jolton he's a more constant defense breaking. His two skills deals defense break.
Right.
Chandra, he has a unit with particular synergies. Like he's good with Telmars too, because he can hug Telmars if he's about to die. He can hug Jultan because yeah, as long as you keep hitting Jultan, you're hurting yourself because he's passive.
Hmm.
And he's pretty much good with units that benefits from being almost dead, and these units that they are good or other damaging units. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Cool, cool. All right, let's go ahead and check out this next one here that we got, Gemstar. Love the teams here.
Yeah, Genstar, like remember when I said let's talking about Tilmar, he's a known guy. You can see him most being used most on most defense, and it's not in vain. Like Tilmars, he brings up that unpredictability aspect, He can target anyone, defense break anyone. And here we see too like Orion. Orion, there is a curious thing about Orion because most Orion are fast. So remember when I said about the immunity thing? This person he doesn't have immunity, but Orion he can pretty much like make the battle fast by giving a more constant attack bar, like taking out enemy buffs and giving them defense break. Like with a team with a so high killing potential on this team, you can sometimes like say dispense immunity not that necessary because the killing potential on this team is so high. Like Orion can defense break an attack bar. Tilmars is a very dangerous unity, and Kumars he has a pretty much good AOE, and he can make units not capable of healing, which is some another dangerous thing. And Kumars Ryu is pretty much very good. He heals based on his own HP. So if he's about to heal, let's say Telmars, he will heal it for like 20k HP, which will be pretty much like entire Telmars HP.
Right. Yeah. Really, really strong. Here's a question that I got for you on this one. Did you set
Okay.
this one up personally, or did you work with Gem together to kind of set this one up?
Well, most of the defense we talk about, like I've talked about with our members many times, like, hey, what's good with that unit? Like, what's good with Orion?
Hmm.
I would say a thing like the best brownies like Draco and Orion friends are the Beast Monks because Beast Monks they have the reels, they have the damage, and Orions they have the defense break and they have the immunity or more defense break even.
Right.
So yeah, and Tilmars he goes well with anything, and I think he uses it here because for the lead, the more critical hit even,
Hmm.
and how much Telmars because when you use Telmars, people will aim for him because let's note a thing about this defense that we can apply it to many other defense. If you kill Telmars, the kill potential of this thing is still Kumar and Orion. He can still kill you if he's still like Telmars and Orion, Kumar's still alive. Kumar still can still kill your team. You know?
Right. Right. And here's another question here. I love this team. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I definitely want to throw this out there because I think there's a lot of people that kind of get in this scenario once they get a Ryan. This type of a YOLO kind of team, rocking with two damage dealers, one being a defense breaker. When it comes to Orion, you see it time and time and again. Most people feel that the violent set is going to be the way they go, but every so often, you find people that are utilizing like a despair set or whatnot because it's still, he has the additional violent proc or whatnot. So, but because he has two ways of providing defense break on a team that has two damage dealing units, two forms of kill potential, do you prefer the violent set on this particular unit to have a little bit more opportunities to cast the
Oh,
defense break, or do you prefer like an opportunity of turn denial when it comes to
okay.
utilizing like a despair set?
Yeah, this is a good question. Let's talk about their specific sets. Like, let's talk about first about Tilmars. yeah, Tilmars, he needs the violent set for more killing and damage potential, because I will say one thing that's very important here. On units that do defense break like Tilmars, some Monkey Kings, Darions, Vagabonds, and very other units that do damage and at the same time do defense break, Violence is an exceptional set for them, because if you do defense break of an unit and like you in sequence this unit procs Violence like 2 times, there is no way for that unit to survive, even if it's very tanky.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I consider like Violent is very good on Tilmars. Well, I'll talk about now Kumar. Well, Kumar, if we say about the dominant sets, which are pretty much consider Violence and Despair, I don't think Despair would be good,
Right.
because how Violence benefits in, like, we can say like an hypothetical situation here, like Kumar can go out of a stun and heal himself or someone, and that can make a big difference. So Kumar is pretty much not much option aside Violence, but Orion is an interesting, because Orion can have so many sets, man. Orion can be built like Despair, because his second skill he does crushing hits, so he never glances hits. So he always have stun potential of enemies, and stun potential at the same time as he does defense break of them. His first skill he gets extra turns, so he can get extra turns at the same time of stunning someone important.
Mm-hmm.
And his third skill, it's pretty much like that that does defense break, disturb real, attack bar, etc. So when you talk about Orion, you can use Despair. It's totally efficient on him. You can use Violence for the more even defense breaks. And on the last thing I like to note here, you can use even a Swift Orion, because he gives your team attack bar, right? So he can work like a Bernard on defense. People will expect your Orion to have like about like 200 speed, let's say, more or less. But if you impress them with a very high, if you build our Orion with higher speeds than the enemy claw, you can even surprise them, like
Yep.
getting a turn before they get immunity and killing them.
Right. Right. Definitely. And I neglected to
Oh, and
mention that because the
Childish, sorry, I talk too much because I like to go in deep about the Unity synergies and what they're good with. Not sometimes just even on the defense, but in general.
yeah, no, and actually, I appreciate the feedback on that. It's always good to hear. Like I was going to say, I've seen a lot of Swift users out there, but it's kind of scary to me because I feel there's so much
Oh,
value to this
I,
unit.
f- I forgot to add something too, sorry. We didn't talk about the secondary sets. So when you talk about this first thing you say, it's an interesting that we can consider to put wheel hounds, because like if this team don't have immunity, and if the enemy team uses a very, very high speed, if you have immunity, like say on some crucial units like Telmars or Orion, for example, if you Rebel 2, this will impress enemy and surprise him. Yeah, sorry for interruption, you can go on.
No, you're good. You're good. That's so. Yeah, definitely. What would be great here. I do see a lot. I do see people in the top 100 utilize a Swift there. It does kind of scare me when it comes to utilizing it for like a Guild Wars defense because you're really there's so much bang for your buck when it comes to a violent set that I would think that unless you're just utilizing it for offensive only, I definitely like the violent or despair set going. But let's see here. Let's go ahead and what we can do. Since I know that we kind of hit this, first team up, and I know we still have 4 to 5 teams to go, we'll go through these teams, guys, and then if you have questions for a specific person and either their first round team or their second round team, please put it in the comment section down below, and then I'll have Vayne come on board and check out the YouTube comments so that he can, kind of answer your questions specifically to kind of help, why, people go about the way it is set up here. So let's get to that second team. Very, very cool team. Again, utilizing Jultan, Chandra, and Chloe here.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, like we said before on Green Booty, this team is very like him, but this time he's using Jultan Leech. Yeah, this team like that one before didn't have any immunity like this one have. Like we can see very few modifications compared to the other. This team has Chloe, that water has Ariel. So the other teams would go better with, let's say, Will runes for the trying to avoid to being insta killed by some ways. These second teams can have more like revenge secondary sets.
Gotcha.
It's like these small details that sometimes change the secondary sets. When we talk about, if you want me to, like sets on Vultan, yeah, Vultan pretty much it's good with violent sets for going out of stuns. Revenge is nice on him because you add that to that factor of unpredictability. He will go revenge a unit that he would never attack. Chandra has that stun on first skill and stunning another unit on revenge nice. And about Chloe, one thing I want to say about Chloe in general. If you're using a Chloe for defense, it's very nice to run her violent and not swift because that's how dangerous Chloes are on defense. They are violent because it will mean she will brings more immunity, more reels. Because Chloe's, to be honest, Chloe's immunity is very high. It's like her immunity lasts for 3 turns and her cooldown is 6 turns. Let's compare to others. Delphoy. Delphoy has 4 turns cooldown and 2 turns immunity. Draco has 2 turns like immunity and 4 turns cooldown, but he can get more extra turns. And
Right.
Velajuel is the king of the immunity. There is not much thing to talk. So talking about Chloe, talking about this, violence is good on her because it will lower her cooldown. Let's say it will make the entire team less vulnerable in long time. So I consider violence on her a very good thing for lowering the amount of turns your team will be without immunity after it turns off.
Gotcha. And we can only assume that when we talk about a violent set is a way to go if they have the runes to back it up. I mean, if they're rocking a violent set with 50% less speed than what they can pull with the Swift World, then go with the Swift over the violent, or you still say violent?
Oh yeah. Swifts and violence have very similar aspects, but when we talk about Swift sets, it's mostly if you want to use in a specific way because like I want to get the first turn, so I will go Swift. In this case, you can even say Swift is better than violence, like we said before, like on the Orion monster. Orion with Swift can surprise the enemy because Swift will give him even more speed, a thing that violence wouldn't easily. So these are one thing I consider like when we talk about the Swift versus violent sets.
All right.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Are you good, or you ready for the next one?
No, I'm ready because we over talked like the second death before.
It's all good.
I don't want to burden or make people bored of listening. We can go on.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and move on to this next one that we got here. Oh my God! Look who it is. Nice.
Well, I wanted to put my devs like when you suggested me to use your devs, you say like the ones with most defensive wins. I chosen mine not because it's me, no, because I actually have a pretty much defensive win rate, and more than that, another interesting is how easy to build my defense. Like the second team, I use Beta. Beta is Dark Mermaid, but you could entirely replace her with Chloe because they do the very similar jobs,
Right.
So let's go to the first team. First team seems like a noob team, very easy to build. I like to point here some Veromos synergies that he have with other units. Veromos is a kind of immunity unit. Like when you see, I like damage, but I don't want to use Chloe. I don't want to use Draco. I want an immunity unity, but not a one with do damage. So you can choose Veromos. Veromos on Arena, we can say that he got very far behind because he got some nerfs on the previous patches.
Yeah.
But on Guild War, he's so dominant yet because he can actually do some threat because his stunts actually annoy so much, especially when it's violent. His damage on first skill scales of speed, so he can be built tanky, he can have the immunity, and he can be high speed. So and that's HP lead. So he's pretty much a unit that everybody knows he's too great. So let's going on. So Veromos has the immunity thing. Then now what we need next, what would be good, like defense break. defense break, we can choose Darion here. You can ask, why do I choose Darion on first defense and not on second defense? You can see. Well, I choose Darion on first defense because Darion's third skill, make other units more tanky. Like, Veramos, he's tanky and stuff, but not so tanky. If someone applies a defense break on him, he's totally knockable. So Darion here adds that aspect of letting Veramos a bit more harder to kill. While at the same time, yeah, Darion brings that defense break thing, and he's an easy to get unity. So Darion and Veramos, they are a good pair. And and on top of that, we can add a final unity here, which is Chazun. Well, Chazun, I mean, here could be replaced by Bella, for example, if you don't have Chazun, because Chazun, my job here is to reel. Like, my chin is very tanky, so as long as I keep, and very speedy too, so as long as I keep the battle going on, Chazun has amazing heals. She heals unlike other healers. Chazun's interesting aspect is that she always uses her second skill, which is Amuse, which gives Jin attack buff, and constantly heals him, not letting them with low HP, because there's something we can talk about healers like Ariel, Chloe, Monks, every other unit of this game. They heal just when your team has low HP.
Right.
So you can try a little tricky when your offense, like, let's enemy with a bit more than half HP, then knock him before the enemy can heal them. But Chazun, no, Chazun is immune to that because she's always constantly reeling. That's her artificial intelligence works that way.
Cool.
Yeah, and another last thing, I use Darion here not too badly because I like using very variety of units in my defense, like one dark, one wind, one light monster. I think it adds. But let's go to the any things you would like to question on the first scene before?
Actually, no. One of the things that I noticed, though, I will point it out too. We have Ija 90 from Argio that does kind of the same thing. He uses like the standard Veramos Darius tune, and we all got the understanding that Veramos is generally a very, very fast unit, and we built Darians that Jasoons with that 40 to 50 speed range, but it's cool. It's kind of cool to see you, as well as many others in the community, use it, utilizing when they get the high quality runes, with great substats, utilizing Jasoon with a little bit more speed. If you guys notice, when I went through the units, he actually is going speed on 2. I think he's sitting at roughly 190, 200 speed, and again, it's a really nice thing to think about, because when we look at teams like this, we think about Veramos having an absurd amount of speed, and the other units probably synced up, the buffer going before the defense breaker. But if you can synergize all three of them with the speeds, when you get those kind of runes, it definitely plays a vital role in successful defenses. So it's stuff that people don't really consider going. With a level of speed there, if you have the hit point subsets to back it up. So, no, I just wanted to say that was a very cool setup. I like the units there.
Oh, thanks.
But, yeah.
I ask sorry here because I know you have interviewed many people, so I may end up talking like the same things as them. I try to bring here some things that they didn't. We can talk about the sets like in short here. Like, I'm using Violence on Veramos because it's the best set. He can perma-stuns enemy if lucky. Darion needs Violence too because how deadly he can be. Secondary sets, I like Nemesis on Veramos because if he gets really hurt, he can proc Nemesis and heal himself from some important debuff like a defense break. Darion has actually no much better secondary sets than Revenge. Revenge is very good on him because how good his first use is. And Chazun, I think Endure set is good on her to reach that 100 resistance.
Okay, cool. And how about this second team? I mean, I'm assuming that everything is kind of self-explanatory when it comes to this. Is there anything that else you wanted to kind of point out? I know that the Dark Mermaid is quite a unique unit. Anything unique about this that you wanted to point out to the audience?
Yes. I just said before, like, I don't like using two units of the same elements of the team, like me, preferable. But this is interesting here because Beta first skill, I know not many people have her or know what her skill set does, but she works like very, very similar to Chloe. but her first skill, she will dispel enemy buff. And since her and Jubel are dark monsters, if enemy by chance, for example, use a light unit, she will take out that light unit buff, and Jubel will, in consequence, death break that unit, leaving an open spot for Tilmars, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Well, aside that, well, I think I already explained here, like Jubel. I like Jubel a lot for Guild Wars because he's a pretty much self-independent unity.
Yeah.
He's very tanky naturally because his third skill that lowers the sense of being critted. Beta can be totally replaced like for a Chloe because she does immunity too, she reels too, does damage based on max HP.
Yep.
Well, if you want me to talk more about Beta, because I don't know, many people don't have her, so I don't know if they are interested to know how she
Well,
works.
and again, what we can go ahead and do again, guys. If you have specific questions about certain units, just go ahead and put it in the comment section down below. And what we'll go ahead and do is move on here because I know we don't got too much time left over, but we'll try to move things along so that you guys can get the heads up on these cool teams because he definitely has some nice teams to show here. With this next one here, Seabiscuit, pretty unique teams here. I like them.
Yeah, Seabiscuit is Rengar. He just changed his name. Okay, I like different than before. I will try to make things certain here because this defense they get like repetitive in time, you know.
Okay, yeah, and
So
any teams that you have that are repetitive, we'll just go ahead and move to the unique team on the thing, and we can keep on going, so no sweat.
I will try. Yeah, I try making things short here because yeah, they're pretty much repetitive. So, example, this first team that he used, Draco has constant defense break. He's running with Despair, so he can stun and Despair. No, he can stun and death break at the same time, following by Telmars. Telmars has that Saison buff. Saison can reel him to the full amount again, giving him a little more breath to kill the enemy before he dies. So they are Draco and Telmars. They are pretty much deadly together, and that's pretty much it. Let's go to the other team.
Okay.
If you have anything to question or anyone, I can talk later.
Yep.
But I want to give a particular attention to this second teams because this is an interesting thing. Because like when we talked like in the interview, like in the beginning, you asked, I said like about the income of damage. Like this team initially doesn't seem like doesn't have that much damage, but it's interesting to note here that Galeon, Guild War leader, he gives Veromos speed, making his do even more damage. And the way I asked Henger to build Veromos isn't like people are used to. He built Veromos like going speed, critical damage, and HP. Critical damage because his first skill already scales with speed, so he will do some serious damage. Consider Galeon has attack buff even for Veromos, and Galeon first skill already does defense breaks too. So this is a very high speed team. This will work this way. Galeon first will try to debuff enemy team and buff himself with attack. Then in the consequence, Praha will cleanse enemy team and Veromos will go in sequence. Like it's a very well made team. Even
like
for
it.
the fact, yes,
Yeah.
I like to how this team works.
Yeah, I like it a lot, and am I not too far off to say that there's a good chance that Galleon is also spec for damage too to provide damage, or is he more of a hybrid like kind of support there too?
Well, we can say I don't remember his runes exactly, but ideally he would be like a speed, HP, and an attack on last one. But he would need to be a bit more focused on a bit more defensive than offensive. You know here because he's the only source of defense break of the team.
Right.
I always take in consideration the sources of the defense break these things. Because if you kill them, it might lead the battle very easily.
Yeah. All right, that's a very good point. All right, cool. Let's see what we got here for the next one here. This one needs no introduction. He's been on Educate and Dominate prior to. Goon doing it big.
Did he already talked about his teams?
I think he has talked about it. I know he's kind of switched them around a little bit. He's utilizing the Dark, is it Neostone agent there for the third one?
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah. I try to the first I just try to say something that she shouldn't like been a bit original here. So let's talk about this individual unit on the first thing, like the Wind Beast Monk. Oh man, I think that unit is so great. I can consider like Wind Beast Monk one of the top Guild War units. That like if you have him, you must use him
Right.
because of how his skill set works. Like if his first skill stun is very deadly on Guild War. Second skill, unlike a fiery Wind Monkey, he does Defense Break too, but at the same time he get like 50 attack Bargalg. Like this is very great because if you connect like 2 times before enemy acts, like you can nuke him very easily. And his third skill is that one that makes him very tanky naturally too at the same time, while if people aim others, they will get hit by Wind Monkey. So with that skill, Wind Monkey is a pretty good unit to pair with Telmars, for example. Well, I know Gun doesn't have Telmars, but this would be a very good example where to use a Wind Monkey with, like Telmars.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know if, like you said, like you talked before about these teams. I talked a little before about Kumar. I talked about like Wind Monkey.
Yep.
I'm talking in general for you, like units, individual synergies with others. Like if it's like a puzzle, man. You need to get them together so they work. Well,
Yep.
Praha here, yeah, she has that Ryu. She has that cleanse. Cleanse is good. Use it along with other defense breaks units. The second thing, I think here we just say like Sylvia, she can lower the other units' cooldown in the same time they attack with her, didn't he?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah. I think he talked about that. Actually, I'm trying to think. Like I said, I don't think he at the time he had Sylvia in there, but I know how he has it now. I guess really, I mean, it's pretty much a straightforward team. If anyone knows, Sylvia utilizes every time she attacks, she uses another person. The big thing or the big question that I have, for you when it comes to this defense is when talking about the Wind Beast Monk and being such a crucial unit for Guild Wars. We've seen a lot of really strong bruisers out there, beast monks that go, HP, crit damage HP, but you made a really important comment early on talking about the source of your defense break and, the survivability factor. So can we make an assumption, even though he might be going the opposite, that it's not a bad idea to go HP across the board as the HP modifier on him, the damage modifier that he does based on his HP is actually still pretty good, but, at the end of the day, it's extremely important for him to stay alive and survive and provide the defense break for the team.
Oh yeah, you mean like using 3 sets of HP for retest, for example?
Correct.
Yeah, let's talk about, yeah, like said about the incoming of defense break. We can say, well, retest has a 4 cooldown skill of defense break, and Sylvia, if she attacks together with test, she will lower its even, so the constants of the defense break will be even higher.
Right.
But when we talk about retest in general, let's compare retest to Kumar. Like I like retest a lot more than Kumar for Guild War defense because his first skill and third skill are better than Kumar in my opinion. Like first skill of retest is that provoke one. If you provoke a key target, you can make enemy lose. Third skill of retest, if you defense break someone and retest procs violence in consequence, you can kill them too. But about the sets, like we were talking, this is a very important thing to note. Like in this case, Gun he has Sylvia. Sylvia makes things fasten. She makes the team works in a faster way. But if you don't have her, it's very important to have decent speeds on defense break units, especially if they are like Wind Monkey or Retef or other units that doesn't always apply defense break, because the more you apply defense break, the more you are using it, the more chances your team has to aim for that target. Because if it's a hair thing, like if your source of defense break is low, the enemy can heal it up, and in consequence, the battle will be pretty much on his side.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I answered your question like you asked.
Yeah. Yep. Not a problem. Cool. Thank you for the response.
About this. Sorry about the sets. I like one in a fast way. Well, on retest you can go like I don't know, like speed HP by his utility, or HP critical damage, or HP. The only thing to note here is that Retest should have at least, I like to say, like 140 speed. It's a good amount of speed.
Okay.
If you can go higher than that, it's cool, it's nice. But that's pretty much a number of speed like 140 that I like to be relevant.
Okay. Good. Sounds good. Anything else you wanted to add on that second team?
Well, I don't. Yeah, Sylvia. Well, this team source of damage is very high too. We can know that both of his teams doesn't use immunity, but I don't know. I didn't check gun units, but for example, if he uses will runes are a perfect substitute for when you don't have immunity on your team. Remember when I said the first crucial things? Immunity was, on my opinion, on third place because you can impress enemy with will subsets, secondary sets. So yeah, that's pretty much what will make your team wins. You can totally replace immunity for will secondary sets sometimes.
Cool. Cool, very cool. As long as you get those right subsets on them, yeah, buddy. All right. Oh man, this next team here is really, really unique. I love it. Let's
Yeah,
go ahead and hit this one in.
I like talking about Junto because, like, man, what the sorry for the word, but what kind of defense is that? You know, because you're not used to see that kind of defense, the both of them. Uh, some things to note here, like let's talk about first her first team, like Annabelle, Praha, and Arya. Well, you don't see much Arya or Annabelle around. Like first of all, Juni has a very high success rate of defense. Yeah, first of all because her runes are great, but her synergy too are nice because let's talk about Annabelle. First about Annabelle. Annabelle is a kind of unity that can, let's say, give immunity to your team because her second skill cleanses your team.
Mm-hmm.
She has that deadly defense break on third skill. But I see that the problem of most Annabelles is like she's countered by, let's say, Veramos.
Right.
Even though her defense break lasts for 3 turns, if enemy uses Veramos, he can clinch that 3 turns like it's nothing.
Right.
So together, but when we see Joni, she uses Praha and Arya. Arya has a lot of kind of debuffs. Praha has that dodge. So an enemy will end up stuck it with a lot of debuffs. So Veramos using here is not so viable. And if enemy uses another kind of immunity, Praha will cleanse them. And together, Annabelle, she has a very good damage because you can see she's using her lead here, which gives her a pretty amount high of critical rate, which benefits to in consequence Praha. And this, and then yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about because Arya can do that disturb thing heal that will make enemy not able of healing himself. Well, I think this version of her works pretty much like I will put enemy with so many debuffs that he won't do nothing because a last thing to say, her 3 units have AoE and I think her 3 units have despair. So imagine being constantly debuffed, constantly defense break. This thing makes enemy team a mess.
Yeah.
In short.
I can imagine. It's very, very cool. Looking at that second team though, I really am super excited to see that Water Hellhound. You'd never see this one used in Guild Wars defense, and I think it's perfect considering the third skill, brings 2 people along. So, the way how they have it set up with the defense breaker and then the hard hitter, you can definitely, knock someone out early on.
Yeah, it's a very creative way. And one interesting, for this composition to work, if you want to try this at home, you need Stark to have a very, very, very high speed. Like her Stark has 260 speed or more, I don't remember. It's insanely high. Another unit that could, for example, replace Stark here, that it's a pretty much a new unit. It's Fiery New Agent. I forgot her name.
Lisa.
Lisa, yeah, Lisa. Well, she's very similar to Water Hellhound. For example, if you want to trade things here, or make them similar. But in general, yeah, you pretty much explained like how it works. it's no secret here, man. Tarks will use his third skill, and for the velocity of things, first Bella will defense break, then Tarek will attack, and then third in sequence until Mars will use his skill. Well, when you use Tarek or Lisa, one interesting to know is that some monsters attack taken like longer than others. I believe like Bella is faster than Mars. That's why it works. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. So that's it. There's no much secret here. If you want to ask something or someone, do it.
Yeah, no, we'll go. What we'll go ahead and do is we'll leave it. We'll just leave it for our subscribers down below. Like I said, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So pretty cool, especially for the people that don't have, certain units or whatnot. Definitely trying to combine something like that is really good. So, I guess my next question for you is to kind of wrap up the whole Guild Wars section. Is if you've been around, and you've seen a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we consider good things, and some things we don't consider too good. In your opinion, if there was something to change for the better or for the worse, what would it be and why?
Well, you mean like for come to us to do or for we
Yes.
to do?
Yes. If there was something that you would like to see change for Guild Wars to make it better, what would it be?
Oh, okay. There are some things I really dislike on Guild Wars, particularly. Like, if I were to change something on Guild Wars, I think it would be about preventing, well, luck on who you fight with, because it's not hard to happen with some guilds that climb a lot in 1 week because they didn't get attacked. And on the other week, they drop a lot because of bad luck. So exactly, I don't know what I would change, but it's really annoying when you get like picked repeated times, sometimes even by the same guild, and you can do nothing about that. You just end up frustrated because you're doing your best, but there's not much you can do.
Okay.
Another thing that I consider annoying is the price of the flags.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. Yeah. That's
I think
ridiculous.
everyone can relate here because my flags are all level 5 now, and they get stupidly right after a point. For me it takes like 2 or 3 weeks now to level like 2% of the skill of the attributes I want. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's unnecessary right the amount.
Yeah, I
I don't.
think. Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think that is probably one of the top things to change right now. So, Comptos, if you're listening, definitely consider that, especially for the fact that we're limited on the guild swords that we can use every week. It just takes too long to progress. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you there.
And a last thing I would like to really make a topic here. It's about a Devimon would be so nice to be on Guild War. Like, well, the game is like so old now. I think it have like 2 years. So let's say we've come to us releasing so many new monsters, ever updates, and for this game being so old, I think it's hard for the newcomers to catch with the old players. Because this time factor combined with the Devimon things, this make like newcomers sometimes like frustrated. Oh, I'll never get to that point, because when it comes to Devimons, which are a very important thing of this game, unless you spend really large amounts of money, like for getting Devil packs, you will hardly get to the point where old players are. So it would be really interesting, even if it was expensive, like let's say 800 a Devimon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
No,
these three
that'd be kind of
things.
cool to have in there. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
okay. Oh, and going on another topic. I don't know if we didn't talk before. Actually, we didn't. But would be really nice talking about a Guild War offense if we have time, because so far we talked about defense.
Well, we might have to see if we can try to incorporate in that next one. There, we might have to do a second segment. I know
Oh, okay.
we're kind of getting to the part here, but I do have a couple of questions to ask you if you don't mind. One of the cool things that I love to incorporate in these videos is talking about the epic fails that we all have along the way. What is your favorite epic fail that you've had along the way in Summoner's War, and what
Oh.
happened?
Well, after playing so much time, well, I always was very careful about the things, but there's a particular thing I can consider like what did I do that? Well, when I was a new, pretty much newbie player, I spent like 5 refills or more, I don't know, which are like 150 crystals to get a light bearman when I was low level. because I always saw one set like everyone wanted a light bearman, and
Right.
when I got the chance to get one, I spent a lot of crystals, and today he's not that worth. Another thing you can see on my island, I didn't like to buy that cliff thing because I really regret that time. Uh, it's very expensive, like 400 crystals, and in my opinion, it's not that much worth. Well, these are two pretty much things.
Gotcha. Sweet, sweet. All right, thank you for that. Let me see here. Do you
Okay.
got, before we wrap up the video, do you got any shout outs you want to do out there to the Summoners War community?
Well, yeah, I would like to thank my guild because I really appreciate them. They are really nice persons. I know other people on other guilds too, like Arius. I like that guild a lot too. We're making a second guild, Noviac too. I wish they really got the best things in time. And if we are talking about making a possible recommendation for the next guest, yeah, I think I'd like to recommend like Sea Biscuit, which is Rengar. I think he's a cool guy. He got legend a few times, and he likes has the same I don't know how to say like level of strategizing like me, like theory crafting. I think he could add interesting things here.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, and we have had Rangar on the board. I think at last time we had to do it kind of via paper and whatnot because we didn't have an interpreter for him. But I'm definitely sure that we can try to work something out in the end. Also, guys, what we'll go ahead and do, because I know that we had some great stuff to put out there as far as Go War offense teams. We'll go ahead and put that again also in the annotation. So if you're missing anything that he said or couldn't understand anything, make sure that you check out the annotations. Go back in the part of the video, check it out, and right around this time, we'll go ahead and add the insight or the info that he wanted to provide on the Guild Wars offense, so we can make sure that you guys get everything in one video. I definitely don't want to cut it off, but unfortunately, we're running out of time for today. So, on behalf of everybody in the Epic Fail community, Vayne, I definitely want to thank you for taking the time to create
Oh,
this.
then it's an honor to be interviewed
Oh,
by a person like you. Like you do so much for the community.
the pleasure's all mine, and I really appreciate it. And that's like we said in the previous video with we had a couple weeks ago. We had Asia Republic. I love the people that want to elaborate on it. It's something that we can listen to day in and day out. So don't ever feel bad for talking a little extra about something because it just so happens to be that unfortunately we don't have as much time as we could have.
Oh, no
But
problem.
it worked out really good, and I definitely appreciate you taking the
Yeah,
time. So.
yeah. There are some units like I didn't know if you see on my monster list. Like for example, I have a new, and I think nobody is a new. Yeah, some units I would like to help people because there are some monsters that, for example, are people struggle to go against, like dark monsters. What do I use? I use Zubele. I know. What do I use against Zubele, against Jolton? I have that Bella, but Bella isn't that tanky, so I need another unit. Well, I would like to add some offensive tips because so far I just talked about defensive, but yeah, I know we're running out of time. So
Yep.
yeah, it's really interesting if you can add that
Yep. Well,
futurely.
we will definitely add it all. We will definitely add it all in the video. So right now they should be able to see it if they haven't already. So, but
Okay.
thank you guys again for always tuning in. Please be sure to smash that like button if you like the content. We'll keep on coming back with you for some more amazing Educate and Dominate series. So we'll go ahead and close it off there, guys. This is Childish and Vayne with ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you in the next Educate and Dominate episode. We're out.